Stop talking about comic books or I'll kill you. I don't care if the Hulk could defeat the Man of Steel.
Season greetings and happy holidays, comic fam. Bullseye Bob here, and welcome to Everything Comics. And of course, this is the 46th episode of Having Comics with My Coffee. This is the show where we get together here in the Bob Cave, drink some great coffee, and I talk about the comics that I picked up on New Comic Book Day this week. And really excited to get into the books this week. There was a lot of great stuff. But before we do that, let's get into the coffee that we're drinking. Again, I wasn't able to go to the Refuge this week, so this is just regular black Keurig coffee. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is tasty. And but as you know, the Refuge is the official coffee house of Everything Comics. They're at 9217 Southeast Foster Road, located right here in Portland, Oregon. If you're ever in town, it's got to be on your itinerary. Go and check out the Refuge. Let me know that you're going to be there. We'll get together. We'll have some coffee. We'll talk comics, talk whatever you want. But it is one of the best coffee houses here in Portland, and I am very proud to have them as a sponsor of the show. You can always go to their website and check out. They got swag and coffee for sale, and they're really great people, and I'm just blessed to know them. So we got a lot to get into this week, and so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into the announcements. And as always, there will be a timestamp on the screen, so if you want to skip the announcements and go straight to the reviews, you can always do that. That's perfectly fine. And so let's just get into the announcement. So the first one is, as I announced last week, I've got some giveaways coming up. That's right. I'm coming up on the end of the year, and this is going to be the 1 year anniversary of me being on YouTube. And I couldn't have done it without you guys, and so I really wanted to give something back. And so I got a bunch of giveaways, and I announced how to enter to get all these really cool things that I'm giving away. And you know what's funny? Only 2 people signed up. So either you guys don't like the giveaways, or you don't want to go watch the video I told you on, to watch, to get in on the signups. And so let me go over what I'm giving away again. As you guys know, I'm partnered up with the Rogue Trader. They're an amazing company. They do pressing and cleanings of comic books. They also have a lot of great comics for sale on their website. And there's a link down in the description if you want to go check them out and see what they got. But they've been so kind to give us 3 $15 coupons for being able to get something on their website and get it for cheaper than you would normally get it. And so 3 lucky winners will get those coupons. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, as you guys know, I'm also partnered up with TKO, and they've given us some great stuff to give away as well. And one of those things is The Banks trade paperback. This is an awesome story. I had a lot of fun reading this, and it's been optioned for a show on Netflix, and so a lucky winner will get this. And next thing is, you know that how much I love Kanto. I can't spread the Kanto love enough, and so one lucky winner will get the trade paperback of the first story arc of Kanto. I just love this story. It's one of my top 10 all-time reads, and I really hope this goes to somebody who's never read it before, but this is one of the prizes as well. Then, as you know, last week, or 2 weeks ago, Daredevil came out. Daredevil number 25, and man, that book is really spiking. As you know, by now, it shouldn't be a spoiler, but Daredevil is now, Elektra has taken on the mantle of Daredevil. It's an awesome read, the way it was spun out. But issue number 25 is spiking, so I have a copy of issue 25, and that'll go to some lucky winner. And last but not least, the grand prize is I have all 4 issues of the Dr. Seuss covers for Ice Cream Man. This first copy here, the first issue, number 20, has really been spiking. And so here's the whole set. And so some lucky winner will get this. So like I said in the last video, if you want to get in on those giveaways, all you have to do is go watch Mystery Mail number 3 that was posted just a couple of weeks ago. And inside that video, I tell you all the details on how to enter for the giveaway. And but like I said, if nobody else wants to enter, then the 2 people who did enter, they'll just split everything. So there you have it. So anyway, a lot of great giveaways. I'm really happy, you know, to be trying to give back to you all who have supported me all this time. And I just want to say thank you guys very much. I could not do this show without you, and you guys have shown me a lot of love and a lot of support, and I just want to say I appreciate you. Next up on the list, as you know, I did announce last week that I'm changing the show. That's right. It's not going to be having comics with my coffee anymore. It is going to be changed to reviews, previews, and back issue breakdowns. It'll be my catch-all for all of my reviews going forward, whether that be my weekly reviews, single issue reviews, or preview copies that some of the comic book publishers have sent me to review before release, or any of the back issues from Marvel, DC, or Independence that I want to break down a run or a story arc or anything like that. And so that'll be a catch-all for all those different things, and you'll be able to tell by the thumbnail on the show which type of, you know, flavor it is going forward. But I'm really excited about it. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I've been working with my wife, and she's been helping me with some of the graphics that I'm going to be using, and I'm just really excited about it. So there's that. And then the last thing, as you guys know, I'm on another show. That's right, I'm on Comics with Bueller, and I'm on every Monday morning with him at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. And this week I'm not going to be on the show. He will. He just got back from an amazing trip to Florida. I wish I could have been there with him. But just as a precaution, because I'm high risk, I'm going to stay away from his house for the next week. But yeah, I know that he's going to have something great planned. But I'll be there in the chat, you know, on Monday morning with him. So come join us. It's going to be an awesome time. And I'll be back on the show the following week, and we'll be good. So that's the announcements. Hope you guys are ready, because we've got a lot of great comics to go over this week. But wait, before we get into the actual reviews, we always start with our cover of the week. And this week's cover of the week is brought to you by TKO Studios. Go check out TKO. There's a link down in the description to the website. They've got a lot of great stuff there, and normally I give you the code everything20 that you can use at checkout, but right now if you go to TKO, they got their holiday sale going on, and they're offering 25% off your purchase with a special code. It's right there on the front of the website. Go check them out. Like I said, their third wave has just been absolutely phenomenal. I've really been loving some of the stuff that I've been reading. I'll be reviewing that stuff, some of that stuff here coming forward. But let's get on to our cover of the week, and this week's cover of the week, and you know I had to put it on here. It's Black Cat #1, and it is the Shannon Mayer variant. You guys know I just love Shannon Mayer's artwork. And I try to showcase it as much as I can on my shows, but this is one of my favorite covers that he's done. As soon as I saw this one solicited, I know I was probably either the first or second one in line to get my copy. It should be shipping within the next week or two. I can't wait to get it. But there it is in all its glory. I think it's one of the best covers that he's ever done. I just love his artwork, and especially when he does stuff like this. And so there it is. That's my cover of the week. Hope you enjoy it, folks. So the first book up on the list is Dark Knight's Death Metal #6. This one by DC Comics, written by Scott Snyder, art by Greg Capullo. And man, here we are in the penultimate issue. And I gotta say, this is just, I mean, crossover event, major event goodness. This is masterful writing. I love what Scott Snyder's been doing, and I know it's not just him, because this was a huge collaboration. But out of all of the events that have been done in recent times, This one, hands down, is my favorite. This is the way you do a major crossover event. It has been compelling. It's been fun. It's kept me on the edge of my seat. They've even masterfully taken every major crisis event and basically spun this in a way to make them all connect. So that it's one large story that is culminating in this particular event, which I thought was genius, just masterful. And really, it's like DC gave them the keys to the kingdom and said, do whatever you want. And these guys just went at it and had fun. That's what I felt from the very beginning, because it's made me laugh. It's done some things and taken some chances that I just thought were phenomenal. And I'm not going to tell you too much about what happens inside of this issue, but I will say that the stage is set for the final battle, and I can't wait for it. Next month, I can't wait to get my copy, and I'll read it, because this has just been awesome. And so I can't praise Dark Knight's Death Metal enough. They've done an amazing job, and I really wish Marvel would take a page from what they've done inside of this, because this is the way to do it. The King in Black so far is looking really good. I really hope it stands up. But this from DC, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed Dark Knight's Death Metal, and I hope you guys have too. All right, so on to our next book, and that's Lock and Key: In Pale Battalions Go. This one by IDW, and of course written by the great Joe Hill, and art by Gabriel Rodriguez. And I mean, to be sure, right out the gate, I just want to say that I both loved and hated this series, and this book in particular. First up, I mean, number one, it feels like a long time between issue 2 and 3. I don't know, it just feels like I haven't seen this title for like a couple of months. I could be wrong about that, but I was very surprised to see it in my inbox, in my pull list, and but I was very happy. And issue 2, I absolutely loved it. It was so phenomenal. And I mean, the story basically revolves around the earlier history of the Locke family in the Key House. And this is what I really loved about it. It really, even though it has history of the Locke family, the characters were kind of a backdrop to the Key House and all of these wonderful keys that they really never showcased before, and just how much power that they had. I guess the gist of it is that the keys want to be weapons, and we get to see them not just in the house, but now we see them used in full-scale war. I mean, how cool is that? And I really enjoyed the last issue because we got to see it, the keys being used on the battlefield. And so the Germans kind of retaliate with some mustard gas, and the main character, he's trying to get away, and he uses the anywhere key to go back to the house, and this battalion of German soldiers follow him. And that's where this kind of ends up, is there inside of the Key House. And it doesn't go well. But really, this is where I kind of don't like the story, because there was some heartfelt stuff that happened at the end of this book. And because of the fact that it was only 3 issues, it felt like it was rushed, and it just kind of ended abruptly. And there was some really, really cool character moments inside of here that I really wish they would have taken the time to flesh out and kind of made this maybe a 5-issue series instead of 3, because I really would have liked to have taken some more time for some more character development, so that those heartfelt moments that came felt earned. Just all of a sudden we had these heartfelt moments, and because they really didn't focus that much on the main characters, it just didn't feel earned. And so I was disappointed in that, but still, the heartfelt moments were so masterfully written by Joe that I really wanted to be excited about it, and because I was feeling the moment. So it's still a great series. It's probably some of my favorite stuff from the Lock and Key series. I would highly recommend it. They'll probably put it in a trade paperback pretty quickly, but I am disappointed that this is the last issue. I really would have liked to have seen this go on. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Did you read this particular series? Let me know what you think about it and what you think about issue number 3 just ending abruptly, because I really wanted it to be a little bit longer. So there you go. So our next book is Batman number 105 by DC Comics. This one written by James Tynion IV, and the artist is, well, there's 4 different artists on this. And so, and when I saw that there were 4 different artists, I knew that there was something up. So now we come to the end of this arc with Bruce trying to save the soul of the Clown Hunter, who is basically on the road to vengeance because he lost his parents. Kind of the same deal or motivations that Bruce had to become a vigilante, except it's kind of going the wrong way. And Bruce, knowing that type of motivation, believes that he can save this boy. And then we have the Ghostmaker, who's using that situation to maneuver Bruce right where he wants him for the ultimate showdown between the two of them. And then we have Harley Quinn, who the Clown Hunter is about to kill because he has found out that Harley had a hand in his parents dying. And so that's what we have set up inside of this book. And we have, kind of a cool moment where Harley kind of pours her heart out to the Clown Hunter. His name's Bao, and that was some really cool writing. I loved the dialogue there, and that's where the book kind of goes off the rails for me. I really think that Tynion probably had a story here, and he had it thought out for a longer arc, but because of the fact that we have Future State coming up, I think that this book suffered from that, and so they just kind of tritely tied everything up and ended it at the end of the story. So basically, after this conversation that Harley Quinn has about her life and how she became who she is, Clown Hunter doesn't kill her, and so we start to see his turn, and he's not such a bad guy, and that he can be worked with. And then we have Bruce having this small showdown with the Ghostmaker, and then even that just ends abruptly with, hey, we can save Gotham together, and now we'll be allies. I need your help going forward. And so this nemesis who came there to basically kill Bruce Wayne is now going to be his ally, and it's all tied up and we're done. I was so disappointed in that because I felt cheated. Like I said, it was very trite, just tied up abruptly. It felt like lazy writing, but I really believe that it was done that way because now we got a clean cut right here that we can go on to Future State with. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens going forward. But I guess this Ghostmaker is going to be a fixture in the DC universe going forward and an ally of Bruce Wayne in Gotham City. And of course, since Bruce lost all his money, this guy Ghostmaker, he's got tons of money, so that solves that problem. Anyway, like I said, it just felt trite and lazy, and I was very disappointed by the end of the book because I've really been enjoying Tynion's writing on this, and I thought this was kind of below most of what he's done on this run. So highly disappointed, but again, I always love Batman. You're always going to see me, buying that title. Really excited to see what they do inside of Future State with Lucius Fox's grandson or son. I forget which it is. But that'll be interesting to see the first black Batman. Really excited about that. But we'll see what happens with DC going forward. A lot of what feels like exciting stuff, but at the same time, they've done this before. So, but that's it. That's my review on Batman number 105. Let me know what you think about that one. Okay, so on to our next book, and that's Post Americana, issue number 1. This one by Image Comics. This one written by Steve Scroce. I don't know how to say his name. And the art by Dave Stewart. So I was watching the comic book roundtable that was happening on Hero and the Kid last night, and somebody mentioned that this book reminded them of Mad Max meets the Bad Batch. If you know those two movies, put them together and you got quite a wild ride. And to be fair, when I first started reading this book, it started getting into some stuff that I thought, this might not be my cup of tea, but it kind of glossed over that really quickly. And we went into the building of this world and what it is. And, I love post-apocalyptic stories. That's basically what this is. And I think this one, doesn't give you anything new. It's all the, tropes that you normally see in a book like this. But it's done in a fresh way. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I love the dialogue. I love some of the characters that they brought out. I love some of the wackiness of, that post-apocalyptic America after, some major cataclysmic event that basically has, America is a wasteland. And then you have a faction that's being built up so that they can be the ruling party over everybody. And of course, you have other factions who are not going to allow that to happen. And you got mutations and all kinds of weird stuff. And the action was just great. The last page of the book, I just loved it. Some of the artwork inside of this was a lot of fun. You're not going to find anything new inside of the book, but I did have a lot of fun reading it. So I'll keep it on my pull list for now. We'll see what happens with it. But if it starts to get too far into those areas that I just don't care about, then I'll probably end up dropping it. But other than that, a lot of fun. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next we got Decorum number 6 by Image Comics. This one written by Jonathan Hickman and the art by Mike Huddleston. Now, I have to be honest, I have both loved and hated this title. For a while, every issue now I kind of feel the same way. Look, I love Jonathan Hickman. I love his writing, especially his dialogue, and he's a masterful crafter in creating a world. But inside of this, I think he's done so much groundwork to build out the world, and there's really only a tiny story inside of it, even though it feels bigger. And I think it suffers because of that, because there's a lot of stuff that he's built out that just doesn't pay off. There's been a lot of things that he has written about that have make no sense and kind of had me lost. But then you've got this really cool story about this assassin and this girl that she's bringing into her society of assassins that's being trained, that feels like it's going to be her partner. And I've really, really enjoyed that aspect of the story. And this book was no different. It's the same thing. We get this kind of bigger picture going on. And it's just kind of weird and surreal until you get to the story with the assassins, and then it takes off again. And I love the dialogue, and I love what they're doing inside of the book. And so now, though, I really feel like we're finally into what the story and what the mission of this book is going to be about. That's basically it. The Assassins Guild is given a task to do. And basically the whole guild is going to do it. And we have our main character who has been basically is going to go out for her first time on her own to basically go get this egg. And I kind of really wish Jonathan Hickman would have started with that in the story and kind of focused just on that, because all of the world building so far really hasn't done anything for this except to show off just how much he loves to do that and how capable he is at doing that. Mike Huddleston's artwork, at times, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's cutting edge. It's some stuff that I just love. And then other places, it's just kind of toned down. And it just uses a vehicle to get, to that part of the story. So it's kind of imbalanced that way. There's sometimes I really like that, but other times it just doesn't make sense. But only 2 more issues left, so I'm going to stay with it. Maybe this will, prove me wrong and it'll blow me away at the end. But I really feel like we've taken, basically 6 issues to finally get into what the story is going to be about. And I think by now we should have known. So anyway, but the artwork I just love. When you finally get into the dialogue with the main characters, I was so engaged, and I love that. So the book has such great merit, but there's a lot of stuff inside of it that was just, wasted space. Does that make sense? Anyway, there it is, Decorum number 6. Let me know what you think about it. Next up, we have We Live number 3 by Aftershock Comics. The art and writing done by the Miranda brothers. And I got to tell you, since issue number 1, I've just loved this series. This issue is no different. I think if there's anything about the series so far that, and it's not even a ding, but I think there's a problem with it, would be the pacing. It's very fast paced. We just go from one event to the next, to the next, to the next. A lot of twists and turns. It's very engaging. The artwork is insane, and I've loved it. But there's really not been a lot of time to settle down into really doing any major character development. We have our main character, Hototo, and his sister, who are kids. And the plot of the story is that mankind is basically on its last leg, and they are about to be wiped out. There's a message that comes from space that basically confirms that and says, we're going to extend you an olive branch of hope, and what we're requiring you to do at these certain drop points, we're going to take 5,000 of your children, and they will be the hope of humanity going forward. And so that's what I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get these kids taking off into space, and we would develop the story from there, but that's not what it's been about. It's been about the trek to get from the place where this all started to this place where they're going to be put on this spaceship, and everybody that was going to take them there, most of them have been killed, and we've had so many different things happen in this post-apocalyptic world that is so fantastic that I've just been loving every minute of it. The dialogue is great, the action is great, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and I really can't praise it enough. It's just been so much fun to read. One of the things that I love about it is, I guess in places where the action is supposed to slow down, are these pages where they'll give you a double splash page, and they'll give you a QR code which will take you to a video which has the soundtrack to the comic book. And usually in places like that, it's when they're traveling from one place to another, and you can see movement, like they're like in this one, there you can see the whole galaxy in the backdrop, and they're kind of shadowed against the sky in the night, and they're walking towards their destination, and there's this song playing. It's very surreal. It really lends to the feel of it, which I think is cool. But I think that when they do this, that's where it's supposed to slow down, which is great, because I dig the music on it. But there's really those are times where some character development, I think, would be great to happen. And because of the pace of it, they've not really slowed down enough for that to actually take place. So I think it suffers just a little bit from that. But I'm so on board with this because I've been loving it. Really can't wait to see what's going to happen next, because it left us with another really major cliffhanger. But I'm on board. Let me know what you think about it, because I love this book. All right, next up we got Once and Future, issue number 14. Of course, this one by Boom Studios, written by Karen Gillan, art by Dan Mora, and the coloring by Tamara Bonneville. And can this title get any better? I just love every issue as it comes up. Usually when you have some of these stories that take fairy tales, fantasy, fables, and they bring them into contemporary times and stories, they're usually kind of soap opera-ish and campy and trite, kind of like the show Once. That has its place and it's fun, but this is not like that. This is dark, it's compelling, at the same time being also lighthearted and comedic, but very whimsical, because the artwork is just amazing on it, and of course Tamara Bonneville's colors, which I can't praise enough. So I've loved this whole story from the very beginning, because it's a whole different take on the King Arthur mythos in modern times, and what would it be like if King Arthur returned. That's basically what this story is. And this whole second half of the whole story arc is revolved around a lot of different characters from mythos coming into play, like Beowulf and Grendel, and now in this particular issue we have the Green Knight, and I just love it. And this issue is no different than those. The face-off against the character is a really kind of short-lived piece of the book. But even though it's been doing that, it's been a lot of fun to read. And so inside of this one, we get a face-off against the Green Knight, and he's taken out pretty quickly, which is okay. But I think this particular issue has some of my favorite stuff inside of it, because you have Duncan's grandmother, Bridget. There's a guy who's about to die, and Bridget basically needs some information out of him, and she basically tells him that it's his last moment. And there's this dialogue that happens that is so well written. I love when Karen Gillan does this, and it really cements home the type of character Bridget is. And I just loved it, absolutely loved it, and so I can't praise it enough. I really can't wait for the next issue, but I look forward to it every month. I mean, every month when Once and Future comes out, it's just fantastic, and this one is no different. So definitely check this one out, folks. It's awesome. Okay, so our next book, we have Stillwater #4. This one by Image Comics. Of course, this one written by Chip Zdarsky, who you know that I love, and the art by Ramon Perez. So what can I say? This book has just been so amazingly good. So in this issue, we get our main character, and we got a kind of a build out of how he came to be where he's at now. We know that he was part of this town at one particular point, and his mom got him out of there, and now he's back. And now we kind of find out what happened. And so the town all of a sudden becomes this place where nobody can die, nobody can age, and that's the biggest problem, is that kids who were born, like he was 18 months old when the town started doing this, and for 5 years he stayed an 18-month-old, but now he's talking like a 5-year-old. So he's got the mind of a 5-year-old inside of an 18-month-old body, and that's a problem. I mean, he's not going to have a normal life if he doesn't actually grow up. So his mom, other town folks, to get him out of there so that he can live a normal life. And that's basically what happens. And so now we know why he got this letter and he was brought back, and how he was part of the whole story, which was just great stuff. So now we're set the stage on what's going to happen next. I can't wait to see what Chip Zdarsky is going to do with the story going forward. We know that the judge is the main power in the town, and he's just a nasty dude. He's hell-bent on keeping the town a secret and suppressing everybody in that town to do so. And it just makes for a great tension in the story. So Stillwater #4, can't wait for issue #5. Every issue of this has just been great, and it's one of my favorite reads of the month. So check it out. All right, so next up we got my pick of the week, and this week's pick of the week is Immortal Hulk #41. This one by Marvel Comics, written by Al Ewing, art by Joe Bennett, and the colors by Paul Mounts. Now, I know it's been a while since I have reviewed an issue of Immortal Hulk. The series started off just amazing, and then, of course, we know that after about issue 50, it kind of went off the rails for a little bit. At least for me, it did. And I almost let it go, but I have been buying it month over month, and it's just, I mean, it's gotten back. It's been back on track for a while now. So when I say it's back, I mean it's back in a big way. I just love this series, and in this particular book, there were so many things, not just the thing, but things. So first off, we got the artwork by Joe Bennett, and man, what a fantastic job this guy does. Not just is there dynamic panel work inside of it, but there's still this creepiness to it. It feels like a good horror book, and it's just dynamic. Every time I read this book, it's just dynamic, and I can't praise it enough. And then that mixed with the coloring by Paul Mounts. The coloring is special. I think it's vibrant color, but it's also sickly sweet. It's kind of like the first hot summer sun starting to rot that very vibrant spring undergrowth. You know, that's kind of a way of explaining it, but it's it's got a rottenness to it at the same time while it's being vibrant and very dynamic. I just love it, and it really lends to the feel of this book. But the writing in this issue, man, it just really, really hit me. Inside of this book, we have the Thing basically trying to contain the Hulk, and it's not the normal massive Hulk, but it is the baby Hulk that is kind of looking kind of adolescent now, and he's gangly, really weird looking, and the Thing kind of figures out right away that this isn't the normal Hulk that he's used to going up against. And anyway, basically, long story short, what really, really got me inside of this book is they sit down and have a couple of hot dogs while the Thing, Ben Grimm, is talking to Banner, and he brings out the story of Job to basically kind of tell him how he got to where he's at, and the fact that sometimes we just need people. And I was so struck that he used something that I love, which is scripture, to really bring out this heartfelt piece, this conversation that he had with the Hulk in the midst of this normal battle that they have, while maintaining all of the normal stuff that you get out of a Immortal Hulk book. I just thought it was masterful. I had so much fun reading it. By the end, I was just struck by how heartfelt that it was, and then of course the use of something very dear to me, which is the story of Job and coming out of the Bible. And I just loved it, absolutely loved it. And so if you haven't been on Immortal Hulk, I would highly, highly recommend getting into it, because it is a cut above, and it's so much different than anything that we've gotten from the Hulk in the past. And Al Ewing has just been doing a masterful job with it. Found out Jen from Comics Will Break Your Heart, she has not been on this, and when she found out that it was kind of a horror anthology, and that's how it kind of begins, she was like, on board. I know she'll love this book just because of what Al Ewing brings to the table inside of it. Anyway, Immortal Hulk number 41, my pick of the week, hands down. Absolutely loved it. Hope you dug it too. So that's it, folks. That's the reviews. Hope you enjoyed those. And as you know, we always end with the panel of the week. And this week's panel of the week is brought to you by the Rogue Trader. They have a lot of great stuff on their website. This is my go-to company for pressing and cleaning my books. Go check out my last What's in the Box video, and you'll see that my ratio of 9.8s and high grades have come way up just by using this service. They got great customer service. They do a fantastic job, and I'm confident that everything has been done to get the highest grade possible when I submit them to CGC. There's a link down in the description. Go check them out. They've got comic books there, and they have the pressing and cleaning service. If there's something that you like there, you can use the code EVERYTHING20 and you get 20% off your purchase. That's a great deal. So this week's panel of the week comes from Immortal Hulk number 41, which was also my pick of the week. And I could have picked any of these panels in the middle of the book when the Hulk was fighting the Thing. So I just picked this one. Look at the panel work on this. Look at the colors. Look at the dynamicness of it. I just loved this part of the book. Besides the dialogue, besides the writing, how masterful it was. Look at how beautiful these panels are, and it really lends to the feel. And even though we're getting, that famous Hulk versus Thing, it's so much different than we've ever gotten it before, and I just loved it. Check it out there. I hope you enjoy it. That's my panel of the week in all its glory. All right, folks, so that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really want to say thank you guys for supporting the show. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. We got a lot of great stuff coming up this next year, and I can't wait to get into it. And I hope you will take that journey with me, because we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. But thank you guys for the show. Enjoy your times with your family. Merry Christmas, folks. So always remember, support your local comic shop and Excelsior. Merry Christmas, folks. Take care.
I'm gonna